So apparently, not so long ago, shots were fired over in the White House, and that led to the evacuation of DJT as well as other high-profile people in the White House. So without further ado, I wanted to dive right in on this one with a clip from Wolf Blitzer. He was actually present at that event at the White House. And so let's hear what he had to say about this.
I feel fine. I'm just scared. It was scary. I was a few feet away from the gunman as he was firing. It was loud. It was scary. The cops got on top of him, and then they got on top of me to protect me. And then they took me away into a secure room, the men's room. It was just a frightening experience.
How were you able to do live TV after all of that?
How was I what?
Live TV after all of that.
A broadcast professional. And, you know, I just did it. I told the truth. What I saw, that was that. I feel fine. I'm just scared.
And so right off the bat, you can already see in the comments, right? Someone is saying, why are people saying staged, right? So that appears to be like a pretty popular sentiment from a lot of the people. Here we have Alex Jones, and let's hear what Alex Jones actually has to say about this event. So right here, let's see, can I find something from Alex Jones when he actually reacts to this event? Yeah, right here. This clip right here.
At the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night in D.C. was staged, and the long and short of it is, no. You had too many of the D.C. police, Secret Service, all of them involved. The very small percentage of those guys are corrupt. Something like that right out in the open. A registered Democrat, Trump derangement syndrome, 30-year-old teacher. Everybody keeps saying that, how do you get through security? He didn't. He waited until the event was going. Then he charged the metal detectors, barely got through it, and they shot him twice. He had a shotgun. He shot one of the Secret Service, but the body armor stopped the buckshot. That's just the facts. That doesn't mean we don't have cover-ups of Epstein and cover-ups of a second shooter in Butler, Pennsylvania. Doesn't mean I just believe what Kash Patel and them say. But, you know, there's footage of Kash Patel out in the dark. Cell phones are so good, though, you can hit, up the light. You can see him. He's all on his phone, not knowing what's going on because they ushered him all out. But the guy did not get into the main ballroom. Trump's been told that that's not a safe facility. That's why he's never been there as president. But over the objections of the Secret Service, he did it. And that's why they want the ballroom. It's just got bulletproof glass and better security systems. Every other major country has facilities to do this. We don't. That's why Trump's obsessed with it. But that's a side issue. So yeah, Charlie Kirk, definite cover-up going on there. Patel ordered the investigation of foreign involvement to be killed. The list goes on and on. But just because a bunch of other stuff is a lie does not mean that this is a lie. There are a lot of Democrats that want Trump dead. There are a lot of people openly saying they want him dead. And I think Trump, really needs to be a lot more careful. But at the end of the day, Trump says he's honored in that press conference that, he.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. It appears that Alex Jones seems to think that it's for real. And I want to hear from you guys down in the chats. Like, do you think that what do you think about this? Do you think that it was an actual event, or do you think that it's just staged to take away attention from all the other failures of the administration? Let's talk about it in the chat, guys. I'm going to actually play a clip from DJT himself, the man. Let's see how he is doing.
One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. One officer was shot.
There you go. Well, that's good news. Always good to hear that nobody got hurt. So I'm happy to hear that. Now, something very interesting that happened just before this event started, right? Like, call this a foreshadowing, call this a coincidence, but I just want to share it because I think it's pretty interesting. Let me know what you think.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight. He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
Anybody hear that? there will be some shots fired tonight. Now, I think it's just a coincidence. Obviously, I think what she meant by shots fired is probably he'll be talking shit as usual about like the US, NATO allies, and Iran, right? Probably that's what she meant by shots fired. So I don't think she meant anything like as if she knew something was gonna happen. But here's actually a clip of actually close up of actually how the events played out. Right there is the Vice President J.D. Vance getting hoisted up and pulled out of the venue. DJT. Honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think that this is elder abuse, right? I feel like this man, he needs to go rest. I think the job is not easy. Look at that, people crawling out. Wow. But did you see DJT actually fall down there? He actually fell. Like, I feel like he might be too old for this much tension. Right? It just seems like it's a lot. Look at that, see? Then he falls down. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I hate to see that because this is like someone's grandpa, right? Like, I hate to see something like this. I'm not condoning violence in any way. Like, I think it's unfortunate that we're having something like this inside of the White House directly. Now we'll see DJT he actually was in good spirits after that event. He actually gave like an interview to a news reporter, and that's what we're going to cut to next.
President Trump, thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Were your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table. Who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea.
Do you know of any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California. Yes, sir. And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump.
Interesting. So I want to know from you guys in the chat, guys, what do you think about this one? Have you guys been following this news closely? And what do you have to say about it? Well, here's what some people on TikTok have to say about it. Now, nothing is confirmed. This is all fresh news, right? So more details are going to be coming out in the following days. So I just want to preface that by saying this here. Just so none of this is facts, obviously. Because none of these people were there, right?
I'm just going to say it. I would believe Erica Kirk was telling the truth before I would believe that what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner tonight wasn't staged. Because I've been to events at the White House, I know the layers of security you have to pass through, and you want me to honestly believe that someone got through multiple metal detectors, multiple screenings with a weapon, managed to fire it off 3 times before being taken down. They rushed the president and the first lady and the cabinet out, and now they're going to fucking resume the event. If somebody really did get through all those levels of security with a weapon that they managed to also fire off, that's a massive fucking security breach. You would not resume the event. That doesn't make any fucking sense. What's more, to the press that are terrified in that ballroom, or were terrified in that ballroom, I can't imagine what that's like, but I want you to remember that every student in this fucking nation does, because that's just a tiny fraction of what these kids experience every goddamn day.
So yeah, there you go. You have like that lady there. She doesn't seem to be buying it. She thinks that like it's all baloney. Here's someone else as well that thinks that it's also baloney.
I'm not the smartest crayon in the coloring box, right? But Donald Trump took to Truth Media after you was just evacuated and your life was supposedly in danger. Your whole cabinet, your whole staff was in danger because a man was shooting in the lobby of your correspondence dinner that was hosted by Grindr. I'm not going to let that slide. And you have the time to post. Your team has the time to post the man that supposedly, allegedly did it. How is this man even alive still? This is one of the most highest security events in the nation or in the world. It should have been, with this man being, you know what I'm saying, targeted before. And he got into the lobby to shoot, not into the ballroom. How was he able to do so? Staged. I'm just going to say it. I seen y'all talking about it in my comment section. But this man is a teacher from California. So this man risked everything he ever believed in to come over there and just shoot in the lobby. And y'all want us to believe that, baby? If we flinch too much in the car, then we getting off. You see what color this man is? Like, so how is he alive on the floor? For you to post and your staff member to post. Like, yeah, when I say this is a fucking distraction to not talk about the war, to not talk about the Epstein files, they done pulled everything you could think of to stop us from thinking about them Epstein files. But bitch, I still want to know. I want to know who was in them. And y'all brought the war, now y'all bringing this. Like, listen, diversion is a must in these people's eyes. They know how to control the media. This is why they bought. Okay, but y'all know what to do. Get in the comments. Let's go, baby. This is crazy.
It is crazy. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this, right? Like, I don't want to speculate, right? I'm gonna wait to comment on this when we have more information coming out. But I did expect that we're gonna have these kind of mixed reactions from people, right? Where some would say, "Oh, it's staged," and then you obviously have the ones that will believe it. So, but I would like to wait for more information to come out in the coming days, and I'll be sharing it with you guys. Now, another clip here of Erica Kirk being also escorted out of the premises in tears.
What we did see is some real deep, disturbed emotions in that room. One of whom was Erica Kirk. As I was walking out of the venue trying to figure out what happened and what we could find out as a reporter, as we're walking out, she also came out and she came right by me. It was just a few seconds, in tears, saying, "I just want to leave." Imagine her distress as she's sitting there hearing the same thing that we all heard, which was gunshots, and knowing what happened to her husband, and being in that scenario. She looked visibly terrified as she was being escorted out, and then we saw her again once she was outside of the building, kind of being surrounded and waiting to be able to leave the area completely.
Wow. So one can only imagine that this lady is probably like traumatized by what happened to her husband, and so for her to have to be there and witness like another shooting, I can understand why she was emotional about that for sure. Yeah. So here we have like a clip of the FBI director. It is what he has to say about the event as well.
The president's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty good, right? The way they were able to subdue the guy. But you do have to ask, right? Like, if it's the very best, and how did someone actually even manage to go inside the White House with a gun? Like, sounds to me like they need to be tightening up their security system. That's what it sounds like to me. Anyways, but I want to hear from you guys down in the chats. Like, what do you think about this? Pretty quiet chat, but let me know, guys. Like, do you think that like this was all like a psyop, or did this actually happen, right? Now I have a clip here as well from like someone, I believe, because as you know, the alleged shooter was, I believe he was a teacher in a school. So here's actually a video from a student, and I believe the student goes to that school.
He was just a pretty normal guy. He was a smart guy. Excuse me. You know, I don't know, he was a little quirky, but it's nothing that, you know, you definitely would not expect him to, I guess, you know, do the thing he did tonight. But yeah, he seemed like a very ordinary person, you know. It's just, I don't know. You never expect it coming from this guy.
Yeah. So now the comment is mixed. Some people are saying that this guy is not really like a student in DJT's, like in the school. Like he's not really a student of that teacher's school, and maybe he's just like a paid actor. I don't know how true that is. I don't know what they stand to gain by sending a student to give like a testimony of the teacher's behavior or character. I don't know what they stand to gain by that. Now let's look at another angle of what happened here.
It's very, very worrisome what happened. Just coincidentally, after they served the appetizers, I walked out to simply go to the men's room, but you have to walk up these stairs and walk out, and which I was doing. And as I was walking back towards the door to get back into the big area where the event was taking place, all of a sudden I start hearing gunshots in the hall right near me. And the next thing I knew, a police officer threw me to the ground and was on top of me. And I was listening and watching what was going on. And apparently they got the gunman who had a major weapon there. But it was so worrisome. The noise was so loud in a small area. And all of a sudden I'm seeing gunshots. And then they grab me, the police officers, and they take me back into the men's room where it was safe. And there were about 15 other men who are stuck in there, and they won't let them out. And that's what happened. And then after a while, they let me out, and I'm out now. I'm not back in the ballroom, but...
Well, that's good. That's good. So I believe that's the Wills guy. I played a clip of him as well earlier in the clip. So if you're just joining, we're talking about like the shooting at the White House event that saw DJT as well as other high-profile names being rushed out of the premises. So we're just kind of giving like a coverage of that. Now we're going to take to X and we're going to actually see. Well, actually, before we go to X, why don't we go and actually look for some reports actually about what actually happened? Like, what are the facts? Let's get some facts. So, Trump shooting attempt. So here, this is from 3 hours ago. This article here. I'm going to go ahead and restart this capture. Perfect. So right here. And then let's have a look at the article. So this here is from, what is this agency? So this is from CBC News. And it's talking about the correspondent's dinner shooting suspect allegedly wrote about targeting U.S. officials, says Trump. So this is according to Trump. So apparently a man armed with guns and knives stormed the lobby outside a high-profile journalist dinner attended by U.S. President Donald Trump and multiple senior U.S. leaders on Saturday night, rushing towards the ballroom before Secret Service agents swarmed and took him into custody. CBC correspondent Paul Hunter is the one that is telling the chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton, what he saw and heard from inside the dinner's ballroom. So this is the latest. U.S. President Donald Trump was escorted off stage at the White House Correspondents' Dinner last night as gunshots rang out in the lobby of the Washington Hilton Hotel. The suspect, identified as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of California, is in custody. So it looks like the man wasn't killed at the scene, which is interesting. Good job to those officials that were able to apprehend him without killing him, because it will be important to actually interrogate him And I'll be curious what he has to say when what's going to come out, if they're going to share any of that information with us during the interrogation. Although authorities did say that he traveled by train from California to Chicago, then to Washington, and checked into the hotel hosting the dinner. Allen is not being cooperative with law enforcement. Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche said. He said Allen will be formally charged in federal court Monday and could face more indictments later. Police officers who interviewed Allen's family also examined his electronic devices and writings and believe he intended to target members of the Trump administration at the dinner. The Secret Service said one officer was shot in a bullet-resistant vest, but was recovering. Love to hear that. That's great. So suspect facing 2 charges. So the suspect is facing 2 charges. Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche told ABC News this week with Judge Stephanopoulos that Allen will be formally charged in federal court on Monday with assault of a federal officer and the use of a firearm during a crime of violence. So these are the facts. This is what we know so far. So more to follow, obviously, on this. And here we have a video of DJT. He's calling the profession.
I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I would.
You know what else is a dangerous profession? Being like an Iran official, right? Being an Iran official probably is even more dangerous than this one right here. What do you guys think? Now, I'm going to play a clip actually from Midas Touch, because apparently the Iranians, they're having a field day with this one. And Midas, I believe, he always does a great job covering DJT specific news. So I'm gonna play a clip from him here, right here. This is the one.
Donald Trump is losing it.
Perfect. So I'm gonna bring this here for you guys.
As the video that he feared has now been released. Yep, Iran has just dropped a new Lego video regarding the incident last night during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Watch what Iran just did. Here, play this clip.
Yeah. White House dinner just went down. Had to control everything. LMAO. But did you? Drama still hit anyway. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame. No comedians. Super fragile snowflake, country going broke. MAGA waking up, they see the joke. You control the video, but you don't control Iran. Yeah. Before the meal, no food, no crumbs on the plate. Prices too high, empty plates, political pie in the sky. Shots fired, whole place got swatted out. SWAT team rushed in, chicken little freaking out. Ballroom is the stage, exit is the cue. Trick up your sleeve, didn't get the survivors to leave. Dapper change, cover up, staging the whole scene. Every time your polls drop low, you pull the same scheme. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame. Yeah. You talk big tough guy, but we laughing out loud. Had to stage the whole thing so it don't expose the fraud. Shots fired in the room, cleared fast. No food arrived, just drama unsurpassed. Trump post, let the show go on like a hero, but no one was even phased in there. Zero. Shooter apprehended, even different than planned. Now you say we'll just do it all again. Damn, yeah. Super fragile snowflake, can't handle the smoke. Shots fired, whole place evacuated. Let the show go on. You the only one to blame.
I love the Muslim touch that they did there. Let the show go on. I think that was like a Allahu Akbar. I like that touch.
No comedians, no comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. MAGA waking up, country going broke. You control the dinner, but you lost the same. No comedians, no comedians. Fake tough guy show, now the whole world laughs. Sacred defense, we see the game. You control the narrative, but you still a loser. Sacred defense. No comedians, super fragile, shots fired. Country going broke, yeah, we see it. Sacred defense.
Now, just imagine how crazy this is, right? Like, these are like nations at war, right? Literally, like Iran is getting bombarded left, right, and center by Israel and the US. And talk about, like, this is so 2026, right? A sign of the times. While we're at war, thousands or maybe hundreds are dying as a result of said war. Then we're making like social media posts like this rather than coming to the table and trying to put an end to this ridiculous war. But yeah, let's see what else the Midas Touch are saying about this topic.
I mean, Iran had that video to go within about 30 minutes to 45 minutes after the incident took place. They also posted the following message. White House Correspondents' Dinner turned into absolute chaos. Trump tried to control every single thing, but the whole event went off the rails. No comedians allowed, empty plates everywhere, full SWAT evacuation mid-dinner, diaper change, cover up on stage while everyone else casually ate salads like nothing happened. Epstein survivors protesting right outside, and MAGA starting to wake up broke. Fragile ego in full meltdown mode, sacred defense. And then they released another video mocking Donald Trump for lying that Pakistan mediators were going to host both the United States and Iran. And Iran said, we're not having any negotiations with you as long as you have your naval blockade. Iran made it clear, we don't want to meet with the United States. But on market manipulation Friday, Donald Trump claimed these meetings were happening, that they were told, and Iran's like, it's not happening. And they made a video just mocking Donald Trump and the United States for being so thirsty and desperate for negotiations. And Iran's like, we don't want to have any negotiations as long as you have the naval blockade. I mean, this is just so utterly humiliating to watch, but this is what Trump has done to the country and himself. Here, play this clip.
Before I'll keep playing the song here, because I know a lot of people like these songs, but really, like, they should be at the table negotiating, because at the end of the day, like, there are no winners from this war. Like, even Iran, they are not winning, right? Like, because I think they need the Strait open. The world needs peace, not more war. So these two countries, I believe, these three countries, because I think there's Israel involved as well, I think this is the height of childishness, right? They need to stop tweeting and writing about what's going on and actually sit down and do their jobs. And if they can't do the job, then they need to step down so that diplomatic leaders can take over. And we can get some adults in the room to put an end to this war. And so that the world can get back with dealing with the issues that we were already dealing with before these people came in with more gasoline to the fire. I mean, I gotta hand it to them. Like, these are like some really nice tracks that they're putting out there, but I don't know how this solves the problem, right, on ground, which is the war. How is this going to put an end to that war? That's what is not being addressed here. And that's what people want to hear, is how are you guys going to stop fighting? Because most people in the world, they don't love wars, right? Most people are not warmongers. We just want an end to the war. The Lego videos are funny, but I don't think they're solving the war problem here.
And then Iran drops the following montage as well. The Iranian social media account from India writes, the only subject Trump doesn't know about is one that everyone else knows very well. And here's the video that they dropped. Here, play this clip.
Nobody knows this stuff better than me.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do and income than I do.
Nobody knows more about construction than I do.
Nobody knows more about campaign finance than I do.
I know more about drones than anybody.
Nobody knows much more about technology this type of technology, certainly, than I do. Nobody knows more about technology than me. Nobody's in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump. I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me. I understand things. I comprehend very well, okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody.
And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it. Nobody knows more about environmental impacts.
You know what they say about the guy who knew all? He was the jack of all trade, master of none. Comes to mind.
I understand the power of Facebook, maybe better than almost anybody. I know more about renewables than any human being on earth. Nobody knows more about polls than me.
I know more about courts than any human being on earth.
I know more about steelworkers than anybody that's ever run for office.
I know more about golf than Obama knows.
Nobody knows more about banks than I do.
You know what? The golf one, I give him the golf one. DJT's golf game is pretty clutch. I give him the golf. I never seen Obama play golf before, but I give him the golf.
Nobody knows more about trade than me. Well, obviously, he doesn't know about nuclear weapons. I know more about nuclear weapons than he'll ever know.
I understand the tax laws better than almost anyone.
Who knows more about lawsuits than I do? I'm the king. I know more about offense and defense than they will ever understand.
Nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation.
I understand money better than anybody. I understand the system better than anybody. Nobody knows more about debt than I do.
Nobody knows the game better than me.
I know more about contributions than anybody. And who knows?
That's funny. I can believe that nobody knows more about debt than him. I believe he's been bankrupted, I think, multiple times now. So obviously he knows a thing or two about that. That's for sure.
More about the word apprentice than Donald Trump. I understand politicians better than anybody. Nobody knows politicians better than me.
Who knows the other side better than me?
Who knows the other side better than me? I think I know more about the other side than almost anybody.
And I understand the other side. Perhaps I understand it better than anybody else.
I was the fair-haired boy. Nobody knows more about it than me. I know more than these politicians. These guys don't know anything.
I know a lot. I know more than I'm ever going to tell you. The truth is, I'm actually a modest person, very modest.
Yeah, so this here is just to show like the contrast, right? Did you hear him earlier? Nobody knows money more than me. Nobody knows about steel more than me. Nobody knows about trade more than me. Nobody knows politicians more than me. Nobody knows tax laws more than me. Nobody knows about debt more than me. So this was him before, and now this is him now.
It's true.
Then they dropped this other video right here. This one's just intense. Let's play it.
Yo. We the people. Sick of this Epstein class. Sending our kids to die while they laugh. Guillotine. Guillotine. Epstein class. Your time is up. We coming clean. Burn the warehouses. Drag the traitors through the street. We stand with Iran. Your empire's in defeat. Guillotine. Guillotine. Redistribute the wealth to watch your whole world fall. Tired of your wars, tired of your lies, tired of it all. Real American revolution, here the people call. You bomb Iran just to hide your dirty pedophile files. While American kids freeze in tents and you throw $1 million smiles. Epstein's clients still walking free inside your administration. Protecting the pedophiles but calling us the danger to the nation. Warehouses packed with luxury while families starve in the cold. We lighting that fire, the new Bastille is about to unfold. Snatching the elites, marching them straight to the blade. Guillotine waiting, this is the price you pay. Guillotine, guillotine, Epstein class, your time is up. We coming clean, burn the warehouses, drag the traitors through the street. We stand with Iran, your empire's in defeat. You sold our government to Israel and became the slave. Compromised leaders, pedophiles that you openly save. We support the ones you bomb, the ones fighting for their soil. Why you send our brothers to die for? You twisted royal, warning shot fired. Redistribute the fall. The people are awake and we will take it all. From the streets to the factories, the fire spreading fast. It's the American spring and this your final hour at last. Either share the wealth or watch your empire burn. We are done with the lies.
Oh my God. Okay, well, so yeah, it sounds like now we're like in High School Musical. That's what it sounds like. It's High School Musical. These people are like killing people, causing like problems all over the world, and then we're making music about it. Talk about Mad Max world, eh? I think we're like in a Mad Max world. Right? Ridiculous. But yeah, guys, I want to know from you guys down in the chats, right? Like, what do you think about this? Let's talk about it. Have you guys been following the news about the shooting in the White House? And what is your take? I'm really curious to know what you got to say. Consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel. I bring breaking news like these almost on a daily basis. So be sure to stay in touch, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.